Today's Tuesday, it's the 3rd of October 2023, and we're out for a walk in the Paseo Maritimo. And as we were coming along, it was really difficult to find anywhere to park. But just across from the auditorium, there's a car park that used to be a paid car park, but since they started doing all of the work, it became a free car park, and there's actually lots of free spaces, which I was quite surprised. So we've parked up there. We're right by the sea, and as you can see, we've got the boats behind us. These are the boats that go out, take people out, and they have a bit of a party. This one there is magic. It's a big catamaran. Nice looking oldie worldy vessel here called the Rafael Verdera, and another magic one over there. This oldie worldy one is actually dated 1841. Which way would you like to go, dear? That way. As we just entered the Paseo Marítimo, really, in Porta P, just going around the corner, we noticed one of the cruise liners moored right up against the side there, so we were sort of right under its shadow. Mein Schiff was the one. It was Mein Schiff 4. There's several of these Mein Schiffs around, and they quite frequently call into Palma. Palma's had lots of ships in this year, and seems to be continuing with that, bringing the ships in. In fact, there was one here just the other day that caused a bit of a fuss when it visited somewhere in Cornwall. You can imagine 2,000 or 3,000 tourists just getting off a ship in Cornwall. For Mallorca, it's a little bit of bread and butter, though they are trying to curb the number of boats. They're trying to get some money out of them, so things like tourist taxes or taxes that the people on board have to pay. Talked about introducing VAT for them while they're in our waters. I think that would be very difficult to police, but it's one of the suggestions that we were seeing. And the work continues along the Paseo Maritimo. The constant disruption continues. It doesn't stop it being a nice walk, though. And the restaurants, well, some of them are trying their best to continue. We were out for lunch today, so I don't think we're going to be calling in any restaurants for a while. Well, at least not till tomorrow. We called down to the bottom of our road to Reco, and they do a fantastic menu del dia. Here's another one of these big catamarans. Take you out on a jaunt around the Mediterranean, or well, at least around the coast.
I don't know if any of you have been watching Below Deck. It's one of Serena's programmes that she's been watching about the crew working on the ship in Porto Adriano was the one that we just watched. That's an amazing thing to watch.
Do you recommend it then?
I would. I quite liked it.
You quite liked it? All right. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what goes on below deck. It's about these mega yachts, really. Yeah, the ones like these, the bigger ones than these. These are little tiddly things compared with the ones you're talking about. But the one Anita's are talking about, she's got a crew who take care of the guests. But the guests tend to be multi-millionaires.
Who want everything and more.
And expect everything and more. And so they're very, very demanding as clients. They pay a lot of money for it, I suppose, so some people will say, well, they've got every right to demand it.
Certainly it's a very nice job working below deck.
No, I think so long as they're polite and don't ask unreasonable things, then perhaps it's okay. I think it's when you see some of these
That's not the sort of
wealthy
people you get
people
on these charter trips.
who are not polite, who are not very nice. There have been pictures of Michelle Obama. She's on one of these boats, not in Palma waters. I think she's somewhere off Italy with Tom Hanks and on Steven Spielberg's boat. But Michelle Obama's actually quite a regular visitor to Mallorca, and she does actually have friends here. Yeah, and it's just pointing in front, and that is the mine ship, I think. There's just so many decks on these things that stick way up out of the water. We've never been on a cruise, and people do tell us, you should try it. Still not convinced by something of that size.
We're going to do the Nile, aren't we?
Nice river cruise, that sounds good. And there's another one in, which I can see the TUI logo at the top of there. Another huge one over in the distance. Just give you a little bit of a view on the other side of the road. There's the Melia Palma Marina Hotel. And obviously it's all open, it's got clients, but right in front of it they've got the roadworks. Tourist bus just gone past with about 3 passengers on it. I'm going to see very much at this time of the night. It's coming up to, well, it's just after 7:30 in the evening. So the sun's going down. It's been ridiculously warm this last couple of days. So much so that I had the air conditioning on the last few days. Big cartoon, aren't they? Yeah, there's a bit. So there's a big boat there. It's not a very big boat, it's a fairly big boat. They've obviously got a big screen there, but we're walking along the front here, can see exactly what they're watching. It's a bit of voyeurism. So the temperatures are predicted to stay high until early next week, and then next week we're going to have another, well, I don't know whether we'll have a storm, but we'll certainly have a change in the weather. It'll come across the mainland first, and it might well weaken as it goes over, but they're predicting by the fiesta, we have a bank holiday on the 12th, that the weather will have changed again, so maybe the temperatures will go down a little bit. Let's see. That's the Gran Melia Victoria. It's looking rather splendid as it's lit up in the evening.
Not very busy on here, is it?
No, I guess people are ready. It's now more or less dinner time, isn't it? So I guess if people are at home, they're making the dinner or eating the dinner. Holiday makers will probably be still in the hotels. If they're on a boat, I don't know. There's still a few people around. It seems to be getting a little busier. I came back from Bristol airport last night and said it was very busy on the planes.
It was. Lots of people going back to England as well.
Yeah, so the airport was quite busy inside.
So there's 3 Anita going solo videos being launched. Certainly nowhere near as good as these, though.
I did edit a video together of my arrival at the airport and Anita's arrival at the various points, and well, you haven't had a look at that. It's well, see what you think. Let me know. Write a comment. Well, that Mein Schiff is a TUI as well. We've got 2 TUIs in port. Promenade down here is really nicely lit, so it feels safe to walk along. Further we go, bigger the boats are. So some bigger ones up there, look. Fancy lighting. And obviously some of the bigger ones actually have permanent crew on board. So that's what Anita's talking about when she talks about this series that's on the TV. They have a permanent crew which will consist of the captain. A bosun, do they? There'll be a chef, an engineer, sous chef, so maybe, yeah, and various people who are going to wait on. Deckhands. Depending on the size of the boat, got lots of people working. Can have lots of people working on board, and they've got their own quarters. And
awful the places they sleep in.
Yeah, I've seen some of the quarters on some of the big boats. Some of them, well, some of the very big ones.
Have better accommodation.
Yeah, they're a bit cramped, but and they're usually down low and hidden away. But, yeah, depending on the boats, will depend how they are. But if you look over there, you can see some bigger boats in the distance. And we'll be having some of the really big boats here, really till the end of the season, or the end of October. And then some of the boats go over to the Caribbean. So the very, very big ones will sail under their own steam. And some of the ones that are just big are actually put on a cargo ship. And it was nearly a disaster last year when one started to keel over. So they actually just get craned out of the water, these boats, and then plonked on a ship to take them across to the other side of the Atlantic. For my own part, I just think they're nice to look at. I do like looking at boats. I think some of them have got beautiful lines, beautiful shapes, beautiful designs. I was going to say beautiful colours, but have you ever wondered why all boats are white? There's very, very few that are not white. We get the odd navy blue one, and there's a few matte black ones, but about 90% of all sailing boats are white. That's a good question, isn't it? Why? Why are they not pink or yellow or red? White is the colour of choice. I suppose it's good for reflecting the heat, because they do get quite warm inside.
That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Just hanging up their day charter poster. You can't see a day out on a boat. Pepe's Charter. If you fancy a day out, you can come and have a chat, see if you can negotiate a price. Oh, we found a red boat and a blue boat. Yeah, so I was exaggerating, I think. Oh, this one's actually got a fancy sign on. There's one here that says rent me, no license. And this one says rent me, no license. And it gives you a telephone number. So, just wondering if it gave the price. So those are quite nice little boats. You get half a dozen people in there quite nicely. Just for pottering around, not going too far out. No license is needed for these boats. Just give them a call. You know how well you can see. It's getting a little bit dark now, but piles of rubble over there. So the rubble is not just on the roadside. The port itself is undergoing a transformation and has been for the past year or so. Piles of rubble along there, and a lot of work going on inside the Club de Mar area. Nice big sailing boat there.
Nice down there.
They do. Shall we just finish the video here? We might catch up a bit later on if there's anything of interest, but we've actually come to the end. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye for now. If I spot anything on the way back, I'll add it to the video later on. Otherwise, see you later. Bye. One thing I missed out on, certainly the last time I was down here, was Leo's, and this is it. It doesn't look to me as though it's open tonight, or at least maybe we're just too early. This used to be Tito's, used to be one of the centres in Mallorca, one of the highlights of Mallorca for entertainment, but it's now been taken over by Leo's, which is, I think, based in Ibiza, and but pretty much looks very similar to Tito's looked. At one time they were going to tear it all down and put something else there, but it's Leo's now. As we're walking along, this is the Gran Melia Victoria. That's where we saw Gokwan. That's when he was with us on daytime TV, and there are a few places down here open as well. It's all nicely lit up, and it's nice to see that there are some people who are coming out in the evening here to have an ice cream. Or across the road here, this is the pizzeria, big pizzeria called Can Helut. Still, work on this side goes on.